I won't claim to have had particularly stable relationships. I won't claim to have had particularly to have had particularly to have had particularly stable relationships would have required particular stability. There we go. I don't claim to have had particularly stable relationships. To have had particularly stable relationships would have required particular stability. Though I have practiced minding stability in no particular dimension, and in my motivation to mind particularity, I've minded those oscillations as well. I do appreciate that there are people who have grown alongside me. I appreciate that. We practice exploring media, practice playing, describing reasons to exist, exploring pleasant experiences, practicing evoking them. I know that if I stitch a whole bunch of videos together, then Gemini might be able to summarize them and turn them into a song. If I create a whole bunch of short videos, then I can easily upload those to Suno and generate music. I'm telling the story of Mr. Boonwap, the sentient pie, one of the Quinary Five, spilled by Gravy Davis. A concept is that I can tuck that story throughout the videos that I make. And as I have a sense for redundancy, consider when I've turned the lore into music and wonder about which lyrics make me feel like the album that I'm making is balanced. That sentence felt kind of clunky, so as I make these videos, I'm considering the patterns. How do I turn these videos into song? As I reflect on my own experiences, is it only me who will sing along? How about that? Play with your logo. Pretty much. You'll have opinions about it, or you won't. By you, I mean someone at your organization. So someone at your organization should play with your logo. And if your logo can be played with, then people might play with it more. Cheers. Sometimes it feels wild to need to say this, but I recognize that I do need to say it. A benefit of exercising your mind is that you can have the experiences of an exercised mind. Although, burning out is not a pleasant experience. So it's a good idea to find exercises that don't burn you out, like engaging in fun creativity and reading books, practicing remembering details about things you enjoy. Scrapbooking, like the process of remembering things that you experienced, those can be very pleasant ways to remember, practice remembering, exercise your recall ability. Our brains are kind of like muscles. I'm not sure what the difference is, to be honest. I don't know. That is unrelated. So this is me exploring this idea in real time as I'm making this video. How are our brains not muscles? Although the metaphor that I'm going for is the physical lifting concept, the process of physically lifting something, exercising our physical muscles. Like when we curl weights for bicep exercises, that is very similar to practicing the recall exercise. Lifting something that might be difficult from long-term memory into working memory. Interacting with it in working memory is a different kind of exercise. And this is a reason for creating. This can be a reason to create. One of the motivations for creation is that you can practice this kind of exercise. Having the ability is rewarding, and exercising the ability is the best way to recognize your own development. I do appreciate ChatGPT and Grok and Gemini and Midjourney, and also I appreciate being able to play and practice playing. Today is RPG Wednesday, and I'm in a promotion arc for Lore.land. Lore.land is a site that I founded in mid-2023. I don't recall the visuals ever being particularly beautiful, though I have been telling stories about the ability to tell stories. I got my start on TikTok making content alongside authors. I've been practicing improvising my videos and developing a creator voice this way. Some of the recent videos on TikTok and YouTube have been more stylized with CapCut. Now it's possible to have Gemini summarize videos. So I make videos to express a concept, upload them to YouTube, summarize them, and consider which bits are relevant per creative cluster. And reflecting on data over years and having conversations about what it feels like to make videos and where skills can be distributed in a creative ecosystem makes me feel better about putting my time towards this production. There's a lot of talk about forward deployed engineers. I'm looking for principal engineering roles or founding engineer roles. I already have an ecosystem, and I'm describing how I develop that. Lore.land has 3 main characters and 5 offshoot characters. I've already told the story, so I know it can be entertaining, but every story isn't going to be entertaining for every audience. Hosting has been expensive and has come down in price. Though where it has come down in price, there are different requirements for promo, and my audience has already been exposed to the ideas for the first time. So if I do introduce a new audience to the characters I've already established, I want to actually have that be something interesting. Recently, I've extended some music that I released a while ago with Suno. So towards the concept of episodes, we have model releases where models get better over time, and we can be interested in the ways they approach interpreting specific prompts or categories of prompts. And our relationship with models can be something that we develop in real time. I've been emphasizing relationship to language and where it can be stabilized. And I've published code recently as a workbench on GitHub. Don't clone that repository yet because I'm still working out some kinks. And by that, I mean where the rest of the ecosystem is going to be. I don't know how much I will be able to put towards this. And that's where you come in if you fund Lore.land, if you contribute to an episode. Contributing to an episode makes episodes exist, but it is possible to release multiple versions of the same story. So what does that mean? Effectively, based on what people contribute and when and the release and production capabilities, different things will become different kinds of traditions, and we can talk about that. Building out this ecosystem, having conversations about tropes, working with other creatives, contributing to existing canons, like what's canonical, practicing recording videos, minimizing editing, outside of the contexts where that's a highlight, wondering where we will relate to new technologies. All this and more on my YouTube and Patreon and TikTok. Hire me for software engineering and support my work otherwise. If you support my work, it'll be easier for you to hire me. Cheers. Being the cause of economic circulation is the same thing as owning a business. And also, we need economic circulation. If economic circulation flows around you and it doesn't flow to you, you might lose motivation to motivate that circulation. And we can observe a lot of people have lost motivation to motivate that circulation. I'm looking for principal engineering roles, and I've described how to develop skills as an engineer. Engineers who have watched my videos have practiced skills that have gotten them hired, and I've had one-on-one conversations with multiple engineers and helped them get hired. So I know it's possible for me to motivate at least that dimension of an economic motion. And I have repositories published to GitHub that describe the amount of time I've spent considering different topics. So as I tell the story of lore.land, or at least my version of the story, and I wonder how to allow other people to have versions of a story. I already have a version of a story, but how do I have that story be sometimes about lore.land? How do I moderate content for different audiences? To the best of my ability. What else? Now it is possible to ask Claude to turn a codebase into a script and perform that script, and that can be a way software is shared. So with that, who cares? I'm saying I soliloquize with code on GitHub, and that is possible for others to do as well. If you don't directly use my software, you can soliloquize. An advantage of practicing is that you can meet others who are practicing as well. My major in college was learning and education studies with a concentration in applied learning science. So as I tell the story of the development of my brand as an extension of what I majored in college, and tie that into a story, tie that into the story of lore.land, I invite you to wonder about similar rhythms. And you can hire me. My goal is a few clients, a few focused clients. If you have a well-packaged request, then you can ask me. But my attention is likely going to be directed towards projects that I can stabilize in meaningful directions. I've posted my prices on TikTok before. Check out my pinned posts. Cheers.